you're just up here from the beginning.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
probably
you.
up here from the beginning, and then go.
And then come back during the operatory.
Yeah, just leave when you're done.
Okay,
Come back during the offertory.
perfect. Done.
Thank you. That'll work. It's a lot of moving parts in the service that aren't the same.
about the meditation.
Oh, you got an authentic thing there.
Yeah, it sounds lovely.
I love that.
Things are going. Yep, you can hear me through there.
Yes,
You'll talk to Jaime about the.
I did. He
Oh, okay.
was
Is he confused?
just however, like about a minute, right?
Yeah, it could be a little longer than that, but yeah, about that. I think he's. I think he.
Yeah, as I said, it looks like it's got the center designed where you can
Yeah.
hold it with 2 fingers and mute with the other 3.
I love that sound. That's terrific. It's really resonant. It's really resonant.
Yeah.
I actually hear that one more.
It's got more of a resonator
Yeah.
than the
I'll
bottom
just,
end.
I'll wear this on my head.
I'm sorry? Oh,
I know, we haven't ever had it.
Could be as tall as me that way.
that would be great to play with a lot of things, but I think for this medieval thing, that's just,
Okay.
can't believe,
Yeah,
I wonder where she got that.
The other thing
John, her husband made it.
That's incredible.
burned down.
I mean, that sounds like a real,
Maureen.
yeah.
I know. I pointed that out, but somebody. We were a worship associate for a long time, so you think of these things like I do. I wish I would be a worship associate.
Is this my green blade that rises? It does. It looks like a piece of grass. That's cute.
I love that song.
It's cute. I feel like I'm at a Renaissance festival. Like there should be like a little musician troupe wandering around playing it.
Oh, I don't have them. Sylvia has them. In the foyer. Sorry. I kept a few up here. does this?
There you go. I like that. I like it.
Susan, thank you so much for the music you
Oh,
figured out and
she's so good at
the
that.
musicians. It's really good. I know you like that too.
Yeah, I love that tune. I played in several early music groups.
Ah,
It's
okay,
like,
yeah.
all right, but we've got to do it authentically.
That's
Lyra, I'm not going to conduct the second hymn. You guys have got it. It's weird for me to be up here dancing. How's your kitty doing? Is it a kitten or a cat?
I really love this. Yeah. Yes, I'm sure you will. It's my third or fourth stand-up worship.
Yeah, she went up to TI and I got fix it right up. My dog takes cranberries from them and
My first church history.
Buenos dias, and welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Antonio. Our weekly worship is where we connect, share information, and inspiration. My name is Shannon Hawkins, and I've been a member of this church for 26 years. Our faith is all-inclusive, and all means all. We strive to enact a universal love that binds us in mutual care and affection, especially in our work for justice for our planet and all its people. Our ancestors traveled from many different parts of the globe to settle here in the homeland of the Quiltatan people, Yanaguana. Their ancestors began living here 8,000 years ago. There are now 65,000 urban indigenous people in our area who continue to survive, heal, and thrive despite systemic oppression. We invite those who are visiting us to rise so that we can see you and greet you. Yay! Welcome. If you're interested in becoming a member of this community, please ask any member or staff. Any of us can help you join the community. We have a membership book that you sign. We also ask you to make an annual contribution to help fund the ministry. If you are new to us or visiting for the first time today, we welcome you to fill out a yellow visitor's card. We'd like to get to know you and follow up with you. Wherever you are on your life's journey, we hope you will find your place with us. We have reserved the last 2 rows of pews for visitors, latecomers, and those who are mobility challenged. We want it to be easy for everyone to be able to find a place to sit. Now I invite you to greet your neighbor and extend a warm welcome to one another.
Good morning. I'm Maggie Joseph. I have been a member here since 1973. Currently, I'm a member of the worship committee, and I am a co-leader of the inclusion team. Inclusion has recently become a dirty word, evidently, but oh well, we're still doing it. The opening words are a poem by Alex Klingenberg. A pattern, a recipe, a story, a poem. Plant a seed, be metaphorical. Now is not the time to be boring. Get inventive, get bold, get weird and outlandish. Get comfortably, uncomfortably vulnerable. Construct a new status quo. Figure out your deepest, wildest, most expansive dreams for the world and write them down. Build them up. Begin, conceive, create, birth, open. If ever there was a time for you to become who you always dreamed you could be, it is now, when the rules are soft and edges are blurred, and the world is blinking into an uncertain future. Be the future that comes into sharp focus. Tell the truth, the absolute truth. Spare none of the details. The only way through this is mutually assured creation. Please rise up as you are willing and able and join in singing hymn number 51, Lady of the Season's Laughter. Flame of fire, spark of the universe that warmed our ancestral hearth, agent of life and death, symbol of truth and freedom, we strive to understand ourselves and our earthly home. Ancestors of blood, ancestors of spirit, be with us here today. You who have nourished us with the waters of life, you who help us to rise up in strength and beauty, this libation is for you.
Now let us recite our covenant as you have found printed in your order of service. Love is the doctrine of this church, the quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. to dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other. El amor es la doctrina de esta iglesia. Su sacramento es la búsqueda de la verdad. Y su oración es el servicio. Convivir en paz, buscar sabiduría en libertad, dar a la humanidad nuestro servicio fraternal, para que todos los almas crezcan en armonía con la divinidad. Así pactamos el uno con el otro.
Dr. XK sent out the following message, but since not everyone may have had a chance to see it, I will read what he said. Recently, our candle lighting ceremony, while beautiful in illuminating our collective spirit, led to 2 of our members experiencing minor injuries. We've also noted the ritual requires constant monitoring, shifting the burning candles, and extensive cleanup afterwards. These concerns invite us to mindfully consider how we might transform this cherished tradition while preserving its deep meaning. In the spirit of honoring our past and embracing our future, we are introducing a new ritual. Instead of lighted individual flames, we will light a single candle and then invite you to drop a pebble into a vessel of water. The concentric circles remind us that our individual actions ripple outward to touch countless others. Everyone can participate. We encourage you to bring your whole self to this new ritual, your memories, your prayers, your hopes for our future together. May this adaptation remind us that the true light we carry cannot be diminished by change. It grows stronger as we tend to each other's well-being and care and intention. With deep gratitude for your understanding and abiding love, Reverend Kolani Casella, PhD, Interim Minister. Well, today we find ourselves in an in-between time. Change is coming, the candles are gone, but the items needed to set up the new participatory ritual have not yet arrived. So for today, I'm asking that as Jaime plays his lovely music, we think about the person, situation, or something else for whom we would have lit a candle or dropped a pebble into water. Let us also think about how we hold each other in deepest regard. From our Community Book of Life, there are a number of entries today. On Thursday, January 30th, Bill and Nancy Pridgeon celebrated their 32nd anniversary. Still best friends. Sorrow for the many talented and dedicated federal workers who are being targeted and harassed by the new administration. In celebration and gratitude for Justice Sonia Sotomayor's visit to St. Mary's University last week. And gratitude for all those in our country who are caring for our most vulnerable people. Yesterday, a number of us were at U to celebrate its, I think it's 20th anniversary, 25th anniversary. There was good food, good fellowship, and glorious weather. Roy Ellery. The Capitol campaign is extremely grateful for the Westney's benefit concert last Sunday. Yes, it was lovely. For all our joys, sorrows, and concerns, may we feel empathy and compassion. May the caring of our community offer a space of deep kindness, loving, and just action. May it be so because we make it so. I invite Tim to come forward and tell a story.
Good morning. My name is Tim Versteeg. My pronouns are he, him, and it is time for the children to come on down. And we will do children and the young at heart if there's anybody who also wants to join us. And we're going to tell a story today. There are no pictures today, so we're going to have to listen. Yeah, I know. No pictures. Oh well. You got to get the pictures in your mind. Yeah. All right. And this is called The Legend of St. Bridget's Cloak. Bridget approached the King of Leinster, a county in Ireland, requesting the land on which to build a place for worship, healing, and creativity. And the place she selected in Kildare, Ireland was ideal. It was near a lake where water was available, in a forest where there was firewood, and near a fertile plain on which to grow crops. The king refused her request. But Bridget was not put off by the refusal. Rather, she and her sisters prayed that the king's heart would soften, and they kept envisioning the place she wished to create. And sometime later, she made her request again. But this time, she said, "Just give me as much land as my cloak will cover." You know what a cloak is, right? Like a cape. Yeah, so it's kind of got a fancy cape. So seeing her cloak, Bridget wasn't that tall, the king laughed and then granted the request. However, Bridget had instructed 4 of her sisters to each take a corner of the cloak and walk towards the 4 directions, north and south and east and west. And as they did this, the cloak began to grow and spread across many, many acres. And she now had sufficient land on which to build the center that she had envisioned. The king and his entire household were dismayed and amazed, and they realized this was no ordinary woman and no ordinary cloak. This was a woman who was truly blessed. Eventually, the king became a patron, assisting Bridget with money, with food and gifts, and it was on this land in Kildare that she built her center of worship, healing, and creativity in the year 470 of the Common Era, and that's 1,555 years ago.
How did you get so close to me?
Just making sure you were listening. Now, this is a story that has crossed many years to come to us now, and maybe it's what we would call true, or maybe it's become mythologized. Bridget, who became Saint Bridget, remains in the hearts of many people in Kildare to this day. And today, many women in Kildare and all over the world, be they Protestant, Catholic, or pagan, are inspired by her and do many acts of service to their communities in her name. So her inspiration has spread even farther than that magic cloak.
The end.
And that's the end. You're right. Thank you. And now it's time to sing the children out.
That one sounds live. Thank you very much. All right. During the next couple of weeks, we celebrate 2 holidays now within our secular culture, but which originated in European pagan traditions as religious rites of seasonal change: Groundhogs Day and Valentine's Day. What do groundhogs and boxes of chocolate have to do with goddesses and pagan tradition? Let me start by reading you a series of verses. As a contemporary version would have it, if his shadow shows when the groundhog peaks, winter will last for another 6 weeks. And an earlier version, if Candlemas Day be fair and bright, winter will have another flight. If Candlemas Day be clouds and rain, winter will not come again. And then an ancient version, if Breed's Day be bright and clear, there'll be twa winters i' the year. So yesterday evening began one of the 8 holy days of the pagan calendar. Sundown on February 1st marks the beginning of the day known most recently as Groundhogs Day. And before that as Candlemas, and before that as Bridget's Day, and before that as Imbolc. Let's start with the least familiar name. Imbolc means in the belly in Old Irish, referring to Mother Earth's belly or womb. It is a cross-quarter day, halfway between the winter solstice and the spring equinox, and it is a holiday celebrating quickening. We're familiar with the concept as related to a woman's pregnancy, but here it was applied to the earth's first stirring after winter. At this time, seeds and shoots are still mostly hidden in the earth, but buds are swelling and new growth is on the verge of sprouting. There in the safety and warmth of the ground, though it may still be cold outside. Life is quickening. In Ireland, the lambing season begins, and as lambs are born, sheep's milk becomes available to be used in making cheese. Also in Ireland, this time came to be thought of as Bridget's Day, or to give the Irish pronunciation, Breed's Day. Breed was a triple goddess with 3 aspects and areas of power: inspiration, healing, and smithcraft. In modern times, we kind of interpret not actually being a literal smith, making things out of iron, but creativity. Fires have always been important on Imbolc. Bridget's name is from a Celtic word, breo agit, meaning fiery arrow. The fires symbolized the newborn son born at Yule and the sparks of a new life in springtime. One old custom was displaying a lighted candle visible in a window of one's house to let the world know of the coming of the light in spring. The sight of these candles must have been comforting to people still feeling the bitter, damp cold in February in Ireland. From this custom came the Christian Candlemas, a mass to which parishioners brought their candles to be blessed, and often including a torchlight procession around the fields to bless them as well. When Ireland was Christianized, veneration of the pagan goddess Bridget was transformed into that of Saint Bridget, because the people refused to give her up. The old pagan stories continue to be told of Saint Bridget, that wherever she walked, flowers and shamrocks sprang up, that in her shrine at Kildare it was always springtime, and that the convent cows never went dry. All stories predating the Christian influence. As Saint Bridget, she continued to be associated with inspiration, fertility, and healing. Saint Bridget was said to have been a nun who founded a convent of 19 nuns at Kildare in Ireland. Kildare, which literally means Church of the Oak, was already the site of a temple sacred to Breed, where 19 priestesses tended a perpetual fire. The number 19 was used because there are 19 years in the Celtic Great Year, when the solar and lunar calendars coincide. It is thought that the fire there was maintained continually for over 1,000 years, but was finally extinguished in 1220 by a bishop who insisted on asserting his authority over the women of Kildare. Bridget continues to remain as one of the most popular saints even then. But in the 1960s, when the Vatican was reevaluating saints, she, along with St. Nicholas and St. Valentine, were decanonized as spurious. Nevertheless, there is still a Catholic St. Bridget's Church here in San Antonio and in many other places. Decanonization has had little impact within Ireland, where there has been a resurgence of interest in Bridget, beginning in the 1980s and continuing to this day. All the pagan holy days had a role in forecasting the weather. The cross-quarter days, halfway between solstices and equinoxes, are a traditional time for projecting the coming weather negatively. In other words, the weather on the cross-quarter day is the opposite of what the next 6 weeks will bring. In Ireland, the behavior of animals during the cross-quarter days was closely observed, and in the early spring, the hedgehogs and other hibernating animals would begin to emerge. Why this weather prognosticating became isolated only to the February cross-quarter day in modern times, I have not heard. Perhaps it is just that people are more anxious about winter being longer than usual, and so have held on to this feature more tightly there. When Irish immigrants came to the United States, they brought their customs with them and switched allegiance to the groundhog in the absence of hedgehogs they were familiar with. It is all part of the process that you might say turned a goddess into a groundhog. However, in 1993, Mary Minahan, a Brigadine nun, relit Bridget's flame in Kildare. It has since been used to relight publicly the fires at the opening of the Festival of Breed, which is still celebrated in Kildare every year around Imbolc. Sister Mary is one of 2 Brigadine nuns who moved to Kildare to begin a Christian community center for Celtic spirituality in the spirit of Bridget of Kildare, and called Solas Breed, which may be translated as Bridget's Vision. At present, the flame is housed in a lantern in the room dedicated to Bridget in Sister Mary's home, where it is kept continually burning. Sister Mary has also founded a group called Care Breed, or Friends of Bridget, a group inspired by the values of Bridget to promote peace, justice, and reconciliation, and to be a beacon of hope in the community. I met Sister Mary and lit a small candle from Bridget's fire some years ago when I traveled to Ireland as part of a women's spirituality tour of ancient sacred sites. Sister Mary's group includes Catholic, Protestant, and contemporary pagan women, and they work together to improve the lives of women. The local Protestant Church of Ireland stands on the land where the original temple of Breed stood. Groups of goddess worshippers from all over the world join Solas Breed and work together. They network with women in Northern Ireland and assist battered women, teach and work in whatever ways they can for reconciliation, peace, and justice. Turning now to Valentine's Day, in ancient Rome, the first 2 weeks of February were called Lupercalia, a festival of fertility and a time of sexual license. All of February was sacred to Juno Februata, goddess of the fever of love. The Lupercalia was also a festival of quickening. It involves parades with torches and the lighting of fires. It included exchanging of love notes, the precursor of today's commercially produced Valentines. Lupercalia ended on February 14th, a day we now call Valentine's Day. In an attempt to gain some control over the openly sexual behavior which was tolerated during the festival in pagan times, the churchmen of the early era tried to substitute a mythical martyr, Saint Valentine, to replace the agricultural god and goddess of the fever of love. Well, Saint Valentine became a patron saint of lovers, despite all official efforts to change the nature of the holiday, and it persists to some degree today. As with St. Bridget, in recent years, the Church has declared St. Valentine to be spurious. On the Roman Valentine's Day, a couple could agree to a trial marriage, living together for 6 months until the fall cross-quarter day on August 1st. "Will you be my Valentine?" was the way a woman would propose such an engagement to a man. And the Valentine heart, of course, was not the physical heart we are acquainted with, but another part of the anatomy entirely. So what can we make of these ancient holy days now? They can serve to remind us to notice the quickening of life and to reconnect with a love that goes beyond candy and cards. They can help remind us, we who live so much of our time in artificial environments, of the living, breathing world around us. We can take this time to remember, to reconnect with the inner spark that we'd like to nurture. For me right now, I'm feeling inspired to get involved in the church's efforts of resistance in support of democracy. I'm not sure exactly what form that's going to take at this point, but I will definitely be involved in it, in some small way at least. And I am feeling a positive fever of love for groups such as Pink Haven, who help trans individuals who are in specific danger because of the actions of state politicians. In spite of all the issues before us, I do my best to live in hope that we can still affect change that will move us toward a better future. But that is me, and I invite you now to think about what is inspiring you. It may be political or personal, and I will lead a short meditation to help you clarify that for yourselves. After the meditation, you're going to be invited to write a word or two on the piece of green paper you were given as you entered the sanctuary. And if you did not receive a little green slip of paper like this, raise your hand and somebody will come and provide you one. I see a few hands around. Also, if you need a writing implement, you can get that as well. There's still some hands up over here. Ah, there's some right there. Felice needs one. I'm sorry? You'll find out about that in the meditation. So don't worry about it. Felice, did you get one? Okay, good. Okay, I think we've pretty well got that sorted. Okay. After the meditation, you're invited to write a word or two on this piece of paper, and you will get to keep this piece of paper. No one else will read it. It's just yours. It's your personal blade of grass or a sprout or a root, however you want to think of it. Please just relax and take 3 deep breaths. Close your eyes if that helps you to go deeper within, and continue to breathe deeply but without straining. With love at the center, think about what is stirring deep in your mind or soul. What rootlets are reaching for the waters of life within the earth of your life? What does that new blade of grass that is just poking its head up in your life represent? What is it that is still developing and that you wish to nurture? What is it that's beginning to demand expression in your life? Is there a small flame that you could light for peace, justice, and healing, for love? Write a word or two about it on your blade of grass. I'll give you a bit of time, and then I will chime the bowl to bring you back. Looks like everybody has gotten that done. So a single blade of grass seems like nothing much to stand against all the need, the pain, and injustice in the world. But if everyone would hold up their blade of grass for just a moment, look around, you are not alone. There is lots of us blades of grass starting to rise up at this time. And let us remember these words from the poem that I read as our opening words. Construct a new status quo. Figure out your deepest, wildest, most expansive dreams for the world and write them down, build them up, begin, conceive, create, birth, open. If ever there was time for you to become who you always dreamed you could be, it is now. The rules are soft and edges are blurred, and the world is blinking into an uncertain future. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be. Will the ushers come forward? Let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. We bless these gifts and we bless the givers. Thank you. Now, if you will rise up as you're willing and able, the music is the hymn of 266, but I have some slightly different words for you to sing to it, if you can look up there, or if you got an order of service, possibly. May we be reminded of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity. May we once again know that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle and to the earth, to this community, and to each other. May it be so, because we make it so.